Imagine camping where Burke and Wills once did. Join us as we head to Bindara on the Darling in New South Wales and stop at some really interesting places along the way. Tonight we're staying at Bindara on the Darling. Bindara's got a really interesting history and a connection to Burke and Wills. So apparently when Burke and Wills were heading north on their expedition up to the Gulf of Carpentaria, they stayed here where they dried beef to take with them as part of their trip, which is kind of interesting, and we're hoping that we'll see a bit more about Burke and Wills as we head a little bit further north up to Menindee.
Darling's a huge river, absolutely massive area of river catchment. I saw on a sign between Mungo and here that the Darling catchment makes up 14% of the total land mass of Australia, which is pretty amazing. I'd never think that would be the case.
It's huge.
Absolutely incredible. But Bindara, we've been here before. Once, I think in COVID times, we popped in here for a quick trip up north and we liked it here and we thought we might come back. Barb, who's the host, she's lovely, always looks after you.
This was actually our first station stay that we ever did, and I think this is probably what got us really hooked on station stays. So I mean, look at the setting. There's nobody here. We've got the whole place to ourselves. We're right on the river.
We have our own ensuite, just up 40 metres up the hill, with a heated shower and a flush toilet, which is pretty good. We've got the river right there. Which last time we were catching yabbies in. Yeah,
it's a lovely red brick homestead up where Barb lives, and apparently all the bricks and things were fired on the site, and when they were building the house in the early 1860s, the supplies were all brought up along the river, because in those days the river really was the lifeblood of Australia. The wool was shipped in and out along the rivers. It was quite the superhighway. These days it's not so much. It's a lovely spot to stay.
It is. We went through Punkerry on the way up and had a little bit of lunch there. There's a cafe and a shop there and some fuel. That was pretty nice. Looked at where the original wharf used to be. Not a lot to see, but still a bit of history in that area.
But we've seen the most extraordinary amount of wildlife today. Every time you come out into the sort of the bush, you sort of think, oh, there's not a lot perhaps to see out here. But every time we see something different, and today it was lizards.
Shingleback lizards, or stumpy tails as I used to call them.
Yeah, we used to see them when we were kids, but you just don't see them anymore, and they were all over the place. How many do you reckon we saw?
We saw upwards towards 20, I think, but there was one patch of about 400 metres where there would have been a dozen, and it looked like they were pairing up, so we need to do a bit of research on that, because it may just be stumpy tail breeding season.
Yep.
And we saw a lot of dragons in the middle of the road and on the side of the road. And Barb from Bindara told us just before, when you see the dragons arched and looking up, it means it's going to rain. So we will see. And you know what, we haven't seen a cloud for a couple of days, and I can see a couple of clouds in the distance that might give us a nice sunset. So,
but the bomb did say that it could rain tomorrow, and our next station stay said that they'd let us know in the morning whether we're going to be able to get through. So we're hoping the roads will be okay and we can get through. Otherwise, we'll have to come up with plan B, but there's always a plan B. Now, you're probably nearly ready for your famous camping biscuits, because we're not camping unless Peter's had a camping biscuit.
Don't have them all that often, but I am partial to one of the Country Cooker chocolate jam biscuits, and I only ever buy them when I go camping, and I haven't even bought them for a while. But last time we did a run up to South Australia, Flinders Ranges, we actually went through the small town where the factory was that
Donald.
made it. Donald, the Cooker's Country cookies. So I've got some of those, and it's probably going to be time for a cup of tea and a Cooker's Country cookie later on, or maybe a glass of wine.
Which
and a
are
Cooker's Country cookie.
Affectionately known as camping biscuits.
That's what we say all the time.
If you have a favourite camping snack, maybe pop that in the chat. Peter might be inspired to move away from his camping biscuits to something different.
Happy to try anything new. So yeah, put your camping snacks on the comments below, and I'm bound to get into it.
The must-haves.
But it is lovely to get into the outback. So a lot of people think you're not in the outback until you pass the Black Stump and maybe a little bit west of the Speewah. And it's not all that far from home. I think that probably only about 700 k's from as far south in Victoria as you can really get.
Yep.
We felt like we were in the outback. Alrighty, what's on the plans for tomorrow?
Oh, a bit more Burke and Wills exploring, I think. Burke and Wills' next stop from here was up towards Menindee, so we thought maybe we'd stop in at Menindee and have a little bit of a look around and explore the history of the area, which would be good. And a few more farm stays. This one is an old favourite, but we're going to try some new ones, just because we can.
Fantastic. Alrighty, if this wind drops off, we might have a fire and look at the stars and watch the Darling River just meander by at its slow pace.
Maybe we can go for a meander, an after dinner wander, see if we can find some more echidnas, because that was really rather fun.
Standing silent and assured, and we'll walk the line of what we're told and what we heard. While the road calls us out, and we'll hang on every word.
It's time to pack up at Bindara, and it did rain last night, so it turns out the dragons are right. When the heads are up, the heavens are coming down. Not that it rained very much, but they were right, it did rain.
You gotta be lonesome for a while. We gotta keep moving till we can make it. I can see the road in just a mile. I can see the road in just a mile. I can see the road in just a mile. Hey!
If you're enjoying these camping videos, don't forget to subscribe. It really helps a small channel like ours. We've been following along on the path of Burke and Wills today. We stayed at Bindara last night, and today we've been up at Menindee. We had lunch at the Menindee Hotel, the Maiden's Hotel, which is supposed to be the second oldest continuous running hotel in Australia, but its connection with Burke and Wills used the hotel as a staging point for their expedition up to the Gulf of Carpentaria. They stayed at the pub. The rest of the expedition, they had to stay up the road. But we only stayed for lunch, and we had a really nice feed. If you're interested in finding out a little bit more about Burke and Wills Expedition, there's a really large plaque out the front of the hotel which details quite a bit about the expedition. So, worth a look if you're interested in more stuff about Burke and Wills.
And we'll hang on every
Next stop for us is Broken Hill and Mount Gipps Station, continuing to make this retired life better than a vacation.